Red Bull Racing is rumored to have reported McLaren to the FIA, sparking major controversy. According to a report from Automotor und Sport, Max Verstappen's team claims that McLaren is using a special trick with their tires, something that could give them an edge on the track. Could this mean trouble for McLaren, or will they come out clean? In every Formula One season, rival teams constantly push boundaries to gain an edge, often leading to clashes over what's allowed and what isn't. This year we've seen disputes over flexi wings, mini DRS setups, and now a heated accusation from Red Bull against McLaren regarding their front right height adjustments. At the Brazilian Grand Prix, Red Bull accused McLaren of filling their tires with water to help keep them cooler on the track. According to Automotor und Sport, Red Bull claims this tactic gives McLaren an unfair advantage by allowing their tires to maintain optimal temperature, boosting performance. This comes in the midst of an already intense 2024 season, with frequent clashes between the teams over compliance with regulations. Red Bull's pushback against McLaren's alleged tactic is rooted in their own experience. Rumors suggest that years ago, Red Bull experimented with similar strategies before being stopped by the FIA, the organization governing Formula One. Red Bull now insists that McLaren's approach goes against the rules, and they want the FIA to take action. A crucial part of this controversy lies in the movement of engineers between teams. When engineers switch teams, they often bring insights about past practices, including potential loopholes in FIA regulations. According to German publication Amos, some former Red Bull engineers now at McLaren might be responsible for introducing this water-filling tactic, leveraging past knowledge to McLaren's benefit. Injecting small amounts of water into a Formula One tire's valve is thought to help keep the tires cooler for longer, especially during intense races. By keeping tire temperatures down, this method could allow for better tire preservation over a race's full length. German magazine Automotor und Sport reports that the FIA is already investigating these claims to determine if McLaren indeed used this strategy during the Brazilian Grand Prix. This isn't the first time Red Bull and McLaren have clashed this season. Earlier, Red Bull accused McLaren of using a flexible rear wing, which led to an investigation that ultimately forced McLaren to abandon that wing design. In response, McLaren raised concerns about Red Bull's underbody height adjustments, sparking further scrutiny from the FIA. The investigation allowed Red Bull's design, but required McLaren to make adjustments to their modifications. Christian Horner, Red Bull's team principal, has addressed the mounting suspicion between teams, even referring to rival teams' concerns as paranoia over Red Bull's innovations, like their front bib adjuster. However, he acknowledged the strange changes this season, remarking, "If one was a skeptic and somewhat paranoid, you say something's changed," he said. Because even when we've gone back to the configuration of the car that, for example, we had in China, we still have some of the same issues that we have experienced. But in saying that, it changed for everybody, potentially. But I've never in a season seen a swing so exaggerated. FIA investigates allegations of McLaren cooling tires with water. The tension first ignited when Red Bull claimed McLaren's rear wing flap at the Baku Grand Prix was overly flexible, possibly granting McLaren an aerodynamic edge. Soon after, McLaren fired back, alleging Red Bull was using an illegal underbody adjustment mechanism to alter the car's ride height mid-race. The FIA intervened in both instances, initially instructing McLaren and other teams to abandon their flexible wings while confirming the legality of Red Bull's bib mechanism. Yet, these decisions did little to ease the animosity. Instead, the rivalry intensified, with each team watching the other closely for any signs of potential advantage. Now, a new allegation has surfaced about spraying a tiny amount of water into its tires to keep them cooler during races, an approach that could theoretically improve performance by reducing tire wear. Interestingly, the report by German magazine Automotor und Sport also mentions that other teams might be using similar methods, potentially making this a widespread practice. The FIA has already started investigating the allegations, while Pirelli, Formula One's official tyre supplier, hasn't reported any unusual findings. The strict regulations governing tyre use in F1 make it challenging for teams to alter tyres without detection, Pirelli technicians manage all aspects of tyre handling, from mounting to dismounting, and are present in the paddock at all times, making it difficult to introduce foreign substances without their knowledge. How realistic is the water injection strategy? Given the stringent oversight, injecting water into tyres without detection seems almost impossible. After each race, Pirelli's technicians analyze all used tyres. If there were any fluid remnants, Pirelli would quickly identify and report the anomaly, triggering further investigation by the FIA. Despite the accusations, the logistics of implementing this tactic covertly raised doubts about its plausibility. Interestingly, Automotor und Sport also reports that Red Bull is well aware of this alleged tactic because the team previously experimented with it before the FIA closed loopholes related to tyre manipulation. This past experience could explain why Red Bull is now raising concerns. The team knows firsthand the potential advantages and the regulatory risks of water injection. When approached about Red Bull's recent accusations, Pirelli's F1 boss, Mario Isola, expressed surprise. He admitted that he initially needed to understand the claim and its mechanics. "I had to figure out for myself what it was even about and how it worked," Isola remarked, indicating just how unusual the concept of water injection in tyres sounded even to an F1 tyre expert. Isola explained that if water were indeed added to tyres, part of it would evaporate while some would remain liquid. This could, in theory, help cool the tyre by allowing heat to dissipate more efficiently into the rim. However, there's a significant downside. The increased moisture would make it difficult to regulate tyre pressure accurately. As temperatures rise, especially within the F1 tyre's typical operating range of 90 to 110 degrees Celsius, the water would begin to boil and evaporate, further raising tyre pressure. This pressure increase could actually reduce tyre performance, something no driver or team would ideally want. The issue of tyre pressure in F1 isn't new, and Red Bull has played a role in its history. During the Sebastian Vettel era, the team ran their tyre pressures unusually low to enhance traction. This setup gave them an advantage by increasing the contact between tyre and track, but it also raised safety and compliance concerns. Red Bull combined low pressures with an aggressive camber, meaning the tyres would heat up faster and reach their optimal temperature more quickly. Strict regulations around tyres in Formula One. Formula One enforces strict controls on tyres, with each tyre tagged with a unique barcode scanned by Pirelli to ensure compliance. Every tyre is mounted onto a team's wheels exclusively by Pirelli technicians, keeping close tabs on all aspects of tyre usage. Additionally, with FIA and Pirelli officials ever present in the paddock, any attempt to manipulate the tyres, like the rumoured water trick, would be nearly impossible, though not entirely out of the question. Recognizing the need for transparency, Pirelli's Mario Isola pledged to work closely with the FIA to investigate the allegations thoroughly. The so-called Tiregate allegations first surfaced after the Singapore Grand Prix, where some observed moisture in the wheel rims after the tyres were dismounted post-race. This sparked suspicions about whether some teams were adding water to their tyres to improve cooling. Red Bull has been vocal in raising concerns, particularly directed at McLaren, who have been showing considerable improvement in their race performance. Moreover, Red Bull's lead driver, Max Verstappen, has openly questioned McLaren's recent performance boost. As reported by Dutch media outlet De Telegraaf, Verstappen commented on how rival teams, especially McLaren, have made noticeable gains in race pace. "It's actually quite strange," Verstappen remarked. "Our car has improved significantly since last year, but some teams have made even bigger strides, especially in race conditions. It's something we find very difficult to understand." While the FIA is investigating the water injection claims, it's unlikely they will impose retrospective penalties on any team, even if minor breaches are uncovered. A precedent was set earlier in the season when the FIA declined McLaren's CEO Zak Brown's call for a thorough review of alleged rule-bending tactics. As the situation unfolds, the Formula One community awaits more clarity, with Red Bull, McLaren and the FIA under close scrutiny. Whether these allegations will lead to any rule changes or penalties remains to be seen. So, what do you think of claims by Red Bull over McLaren about the tyre situation which led to FIA investigation? Comment below your views and subscribe for more such videos.